Hi, I'm so excited to bring you another participant session with Vagrein. This one has a lot of different topics that are going to be covered, so I want you to dive right in.
I'm the process of healing from getting my face squished.
Yes? And your body, even the experience of getting your face squished. And it is good that you have laughter around that, whether it's nervous laughter or it is genuine, isn't that funny and ironic and particular and unusual. But even that experience and the healing of the body and the ways that has made you stop or slow down, or the ways that that has given you other challenges that you have had to rise to, and the ways that that has caused pain for you that you have had to endure or survive or thrive through, have made you more prepared for everything else that is coming next. The beliefs that you let go of or were forced or seem to be forced to let go of through that experience, the times that you had to interact with medical professionals, the times that you had to speak with loved ones about what had occurred and see the worry in their faces or perhaps other emotions that you had not preferred to see. All of that has led you to this now moment. And in this now moment, yes, you are continuing to heal, but you have been doing a spectacular job up until this now. So there is no way or reason to believe that something like your healing, this beautiful transformation, could possibly impede any of your other desires. In fact, in time, when you do realize some of your dreams, you do have some successes in your life, you will have to attribute all of those to the moments that were difficult, because without those difficult moments, you would not be the person that was ready for those successes, that was determined to have them, that did have a new outlook on life, that did have new found will to do all of the things that they want to do. Whereas before, perhaps there was a different character, someone who had not yet had that experience, not yet had that accident, not yet had those challenges, who was not as eager to see their dreams come to fruition, to have the life that they are wanting throughout the rest of their existence. So you are in a beautiful place, and your body is collaborating with you.
That's good news.
It is indeed, it's good news.
It's always been good to me. Actually, like your points about the loved ones. Yes, everybody around me was panicking, and I was like, "What's wrong with you guys? It's
Yes.
fine."
Yes,
Um,
and in seeing their panic, in seeing their response, you learned something very beautiful and powerful about yourself. You learned that you are solid and unconditional, regardless of circumstance. That is a beautiful thing to know, because it means that you also know in future moments where there might be crisis, you have a clear and solid head, and you are able to do and exist and live your life the way you want to anyways.
I like that. I have a question about when I was laying on the ground, taking a little nap on the ground with my foot in the water. I kept seeing a girl that stayed with me that I had a strong psychic connection with.
Yes.
She had moved out. Well, her and her boyfriend split up and they moved out. They were staying in an outbuilding. But I kept seeing her hover around me like her spirit.
Yes.
And I was aware it was not in the physical realm. But it was odd that her spirit was watching me the whole time. And I asked her later if she had known something was wrong, and she said she didn't know what, but yes, she knew something was wrong. Was I correct in that assessment that her spirit was watching?
Yes, indeed. You do have the ability to see these energies. Each and every human being that is in physical form is simultaneously in their non-physical form. Generally, the experience of that non-physical is related in location to the proximity of the physical vehicle. You do perceive of yourself as being in your bodies most of the time, but that is not at all accurate, in that your non-physical does not have location. Your non-physical does not understand or play by the rules of time. Therefore, when you speak of astral projection or out of body experiences or lucid dreaming or even contactee experiences with other species, perhaps that are non physical or that even are physical, it is not your physical form that is going to have these experiences, but it is that non physical element of you. This person is indeed connected to you on a psychic level, is indeed connected to you in the matter of you are and they are in some ways guides to one another. Each and every human being has what is perceived of after transition as a ghost. So, what you were actually seeing was the equivalent of this person's ghost coming to be with you so that you did not feel alone in that moment. And the reason why they were able to tell you that they did sense something, etc., was that you could then have the permission slip afterwards of believing that that truly did occur. You are now asking us again for that validation, and we totally understand it, if that did indeed occur or not. And we are saying, yes, it did indeed occur. What is unusual about it is not that you would have a guide in the form of a human in their non-physical form participating with you in an experience. What is more unusual is the fact that you were able to see it. Again, however, that is not unusual because your psychic abilities do raise tremendously when you are in moments of survival or moments of heightened emotion or moments of heightened experiencing on a physical level. Therefore, your psychic abilities can be heightened as well. Does this help to clarify?
Yes, somewhat. I had an experience maybe 20 years ago. I'm not sure why it's coming up now, but I was in China with a a man who was a Sufi, and we were clearing a building from the Cultural Revolution. We were brought over there to do clearing work on this building. And he put me on the phone with somebody in Egypt, and they used me as a medium. When I say they, it was the same thing where I could feel this person
Yes.
transfer onto me. And I was watching this whole experience kind of with great humor, which seemed like a very strong experience. Um, was that the person having the knowledge to move, or are these other spirits that were around?
Perhaps it was a collaboration. We cannot determine in this now what that past experience has been written as, because the past is as flexible as the future, in that you do have both these ideas in your head, including a third that nothing occurred whatsoever. And they are of equal probability or possibility. This is a beautiful opportunity for you within yourself to analyze which or what explanation for this experience feels best to you, and to simply not claim that as truth necessarily, because truth is very flexible, malleable, moldable, but to claim it as the one that feels the best. So, which would feel the best to you? That this being across the phone did or was able to bilocate into your experience and use your vessel to be in that moment? Does
It
it
very
feel,
much it very much felt like that's what was happening.
and does that feel good to you?
Uh, that is absolutely fine.
Yes, then that
It
is,
is, yes, as an explanation, yes, it does.
then it is applicable, and also does open the opportunity for you to know that you do have this form of ability to be of use in this way. Many beings who work in the fields of locating others or giving information of other locations to are able to do what you are able to do.
Hmm. So, in terms of when you say looking at another location or looking for people, or
Yes, or any other sort of experience that would require you to go to travel somewhere else without physically being in that space.
ah, yes, haven't done that in a while. It's taken a lot to learn to control my own energies and stay in my
Yes.
body. I have my father has been hanging on to life very strongly. He was on hospice a couple of times, a very difficult human being at times. Um, I'm wondering if you can feel maybe the reason he's stuck, or is he not processing, or is it the environment of my mother and sister that's keeping things going? They all seem to be stuck in a pattern.
He is not stuck. This is a choice, a valid choice for his soul journey, part of his theme to have this, what you are perceiving of as stubbornness, to move on to something new. But it is appropriate for him in this now, and there's no consequence to it in terms of his expansion. What you are seeing as him holding on is for him an important aspect to his expansion on a soul level in this particular incarnation. And at which point that expansion is satisfied, there will not be some level of stuckness or resistance to the transition that is natural for him. What we are saying is that each and every soul from the outside perspective can be perceived of as not making the right choices, but there is no way for a being to make an incorrect choice, because even in their resistance, or even in their stubbornness, or even in their refusal, they are being in conditions or situations or catalysts or circumstance or invitations towards the soul expansion that they themselves have set up and chosen, and simultaneously honoring whatever soul contracts they do have with the other members of your family, for example, in terms of their expansion that is desired. So here, the key for you is to look at where you are having your discomfort about his particular soul journey or his particular soul experience. And in that, allow that soul contract that you have with him and his stubbornness to expand you to its greatest capacity.
Yeah, I think it's more the target of my mother and sister feeling trapped by him that
Yes.
I look at. So I guess it's the reflection of that that I'm meant to see.
Yes, a
I'm not sure.
reflection of that, a perception of what does trapped mean, a perhaps desire to augment your relationship with your mother and your sister. In other words, do they feel trapped really, or do they have some other perspective on the situation? Have you delved into that, and would you even want to? What is the situation for you in relationship to those beings as well?
Hmm. Well, my sister got pulled away from, she came to take care of me when I had my accident. It got her to leave her post and stay here, and she was able to stay here for 6 months and recovered her own health
Yes.
and had a strong desire to move here as a result. So it gave her a break, but she won't look after herself.
Yes.
And I guess that's something she has to learn, so I probably should not try to do that for anybody else.
Yes, it is something that she has to learn, and your love for her, and whether that comes through in the form of suggestion or that comes through in the form of care or whatever it is, you will be motivated and have the guidance from within as to what feels good to you or not. Do remember that your emotional system is always telling you what is the correct action for you. And if the correct action is indeed, and it feels wonderful to you to do things to help your family, then by all means go ahead and do it. But if there is energy that tells you when you're doing it that they are not appreciating it, or there's cause of conflict because they are not taking my advice, or whatever it is, then there are other things that can be looked at, and you can always send that love and affection and advice. Yes, even on a telepathic level, you do have this capacity to take the human out of it and to send the same desire for them to practice self-care, the same desire for them to have astounding and vibrant health on a telepathic level.
I like that. Yeah, because there's a strong, learning a healthy boundary is important.
We do have time for one more question, if you can find the one that we are sensing. Is there something else, perhaps that you had not prepared in advance, that is present for you?
Maybe the resistance of the financial matters surrounding my property. If there's
What would you
something I
label
can,
this resistance as?
floating in space, waiting for it to come to fruition. It's also family. It's dealing with the mortgage that's too high. And my mother has a property in Florida she wants to sell. So I have family contributing to my ranch. And I'm just wondering if for the last 2 years, we've been kind of month to month going, what's happening here? Oh, we'll figure this out. I was just wondering if it's likely to get resolved anytime soon.
It is. And you can facilitate that. In that, you do have very clearly in your mind what this now moment is in terms of this circumstance. We would even give you an exercise of writing backwards from the end goal. So if the end goal is that this mortgage is completely paid off, in fact, that this ranch is providing income for you, or this space, and that your family is living there in harmony, that everything has been renovated and is working at its perfect function, then work backwards. What would need to occur for this to be the case? And you could even write all of this down. You will meet intimately that resistance as you do this exercise, because you might write down, well, to have all of the plumbing redone, I would need to have a miraculous plumber who decided for no reason that they wanted to do it for free. And then you will say, well, that is ridiculous. That is not possible. Where is a plumber like that going to appear out of the ethers? Well, that is exactly where this thing will appear from. You are unaware, not you specifically, in general, humans are unaware that everything that occurs to you is a miracle. Everything. The fact that banks exist, coincidentally, when you need a bank, is a miracle. The fact that plumbing exists when you need to bring water to your fields is a miracle. Yes, it may seem like these things are given or taken or normal, because you do know that throughout history, first plumbing was invented and then many people worked towards making it better, but each of those beings was once a sperm and an egg, connecting with a soul that decided to come into existence, yes, to be a plumber. So, working your way backwards through this list, you will see all of the spaces in which you would, in theory, or believe yourself to need a miracle. For example, the bank decides one day that they are going to have a raffle and they're going to pay off one loan completely or one mortgage completely. And then they roll a dice and it happens to be your name. That is a very strange thing to occur, but it is not impossible, because in the all that is, everything is possible. So, allowing yourself to let go of any resistance to all of these wild and wacky potentials that do lead you to your desires, frees up your energy to vibrate at the frequency where those desires are more and more likely to arrive to you. Play with your imagination. Allow yourself to weed out where it is you have resistance to the miracle of existence itself. And in doing so, you will definitely allow these manifestations to flow to yourself more effortlessly. And with that, we leave you with the light and the love of 1,000 suns. Anainai.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed that participant session with Vagrein, and I hope that you can see that even though the topics feel to be quite detached from one another, they're actually really unified in the support that they're going to give to this participant for them to up level to their next version. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll consider liking and subscribing to this channel and leaving me a comment below. All of these things help YouTube know that you're enjoying this content so that I can continue bringing you more. Also, I think that you'll probably enjoy this video next. See you soon!